First name is Leah Rachel, Leah Rachel. Sarah Rudolph's world was shattered. The high school sophomore had just been diagnosed with leukemia, a cancer of the blood, and was given a 50% chance of survival. She was told that if her cancer did not kill her, the treatment would. However, despite the doctor's predictions, her cancer went into remission. Amazingly, she is now married with no signs of the disease which threatened to take her life. What was the reason for such remarkable progress? It was because of the field of stem cell research that she was able to defy the odds and beat her cancer. Stem cell research can boast of many success stories like this one. However, these stories often hide the dark and horrible side of this field of study. It has both transformed and annihilated lives. In this speech, I would like to delve into the subject of stem cell research by examining first the basic facts surrounding it. After this, I will look at 2 degrading methods of stem cell research which destroy life. Lastly, I will present 3 reasons why we should care passionately about this topic. Let's start with the facts. Stem cells are found in the human body and are characterized by the fact that they do not yet have a certain role. For instance, they are not a blood, skin, or nerve cell, but are undifferentiated. An example will make this explanation more clear. When the members of a family come together to prepare a meal, they do not initially have a specific assignment or job. However, the father will soon take over the salad, the daughter will cook the spaghetti, and the son will make the sauce. Similarly, stem cells are initially blank until they take on a specific role. They have the unique ability to reproduce themselves prolifically and turn into any cell in the human body. Stem cells are separated into 2 categories. The first group is called adult or somatic stem cells. These are harvested from bone marrow, skeletal muscle, heart, and liver, as well as many other locations. Adult stem cell research should be supported because it does not destroy life and has yielded many positive results. Encouragingly, adult stem cells have been found successful in treating over 73 diseases and abnormalities, including injuries to the spinal cord, strokes, Alzheimer's, and cancer. However, research conducted on the second group of cells, embryonic stem cells, is quite different. This is because scientists kill human embryos in the process of their research. In addition to this, it has also yielded very little progress in treating diseases. Embryonic stem cells are extracted from a fertilized egg that is approximately 5 days old. At this stage, it is known as a blastocyte, and it is as tiny as President Roosevelt's eye on the front of a dime. Now that we have glanced at the basic facts of stem cells, I would like to examine 2 destructive procedures used in this field. The first begins with an egg and a sperm are placed together in a petri dish, and they fuse to form a fertilized egg. Tragically, it is then destroyed when its stem cells are removed. The second method involves the medical procedure called in vitro fertilization. When an infertile couple undergoes this process, a doctor will harvest the woman's eggs and man's sperm. Once her eggs have been artificially fertilized, several of the healthiest will be implanted back into the mother. Since the others are not needed, they are stored in liquid nitrogen, frozen, and are often donated to science. In the hands of researchers, they are unfrozen, stripped of their stem cells, and discarded. Clearly, these procedures performed on embryos are highly destructive and degrading to humanity as a whole. They provide for us 3 reasons why the pro-life community should fight unceasingly against this field of research. The first is that human babies are destroyed in embryonic stem cell research. Now here we must be honest. It is easy to become angry and upset at abortions which destroy something that clearly looks like a baby and can obviously feel pain. But a 5-day-old embryo is almost invisible and does not at all resemble a human. Although it is tempting to forget about these lives, we must remember that this is not simply a ball of cells, but a life that has been specifically ordained and created by God. The second consequence is that human life is reduced to nothing more than a scientific experiment. As seen in the first method of research, embryos are often created for the sole purpose of being researched on. They are seen only as disposable specimens, frozen like pieces of steak, until needed. Lastly, embryonic stem cell research insults equality, sacrificing one individual to better the existence of another. I found a drawing which illustrates this point well. Two individuals are conversing on a cloud, presumably in heaven. The older angel says, "I died waiting for embryonic stem cell research to find a cure. What about you?" The smaller one replies, "I was the embryo." This raises the question, is the embryo who has been discarded any less valuable than the man in the wheelchair hoping to walk from such experimentation? Tragically, embryonic stem cell research sacrifices one vulnerable individual for the sake of another, more developed man or woman. In conclusion, stem cells are blank and can differentiate into specialized cells in the body. There are two kinds of stem cells, and research on one type has proved to be highly successful. However, research on embryonic stem cells has destroyed countless lives in the name of progress. It has reduced a miracle to a disposable commodity and a piece of meat. Lastly, it insults equality, destroying one for the sake of another. Clearly, stem cell research is harshly divided. Sarah Rudolph, the cancer survivor I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, summed it up well when she said, quote, "The real distinction is found in the division between life and death," unquote. For these babies who have no voice, choose life. For the sake of our youngest, most vulnerable citizens, choose life. Protect the miracle of a heartbeat, a blink, a breath, and choose life.